recording in progress.
Yes.
That chick just gives it away, right? It's like I press record and it's like, hey, everybody, you're being recorded now. She's
Yeah. You're going to
smart.
get in trouble for this shit.
Anyway, hey, smack 'em a gob, it is Rock and Metal Combat Podcast. We're back. We haven't been doing episodes for a while, and believe it or not, this time it's not Ian's fault.
Yeah. It's happened twice.
Oh, I'm Dr. Fuck, and with me is.
Oh, yeah! Wadzilla, baby. What's up?
What's up, Wadzilla? Who do we got with us this week, Wadzilla?
Oh, we got the assassin. It has ass in it.
You know it.
Josh Carlson is returning after a decade. That's how long we've been doing this shit. This motherfucker had pimples and like one ball. The other ball's since dropped, right? You know?
I think so. Yeah, I've put a bit of weight on, so I can't exactly see properly down there. But
Hey, look at this boys to men motherfucker. You were just a little young laddie when you were on the show
like
last
16, time. He was like 16 years old. He's 53 now.
That's great. We shouldn't mention. We'll probably get in trouble. Like if somebody goes back and listens to that episode and realizes we had a minor on the show at that time.
Yeah. Actually, I think that time hasn't left yet. I think we could get in trouble for that.
it's fine. It's such a crappy quality mic. You can barely hear me on the episode anyway.
But you were on a legendary episode.
Though, yeah, let me tell you something. Let's say the cops do look into the episode, right?
Right.
To see if they're going to arrest us or not. Once they hear you fire Terrence, they're just going to laugh their ass off and even forgot why they were listening to this episode. And we won't get in trouble. You know what my favorite thing of that show is the very last line. The very last line, I said, all right, bye. And Ian goes, hello? That ruled. That's how it ended. I mean, it was hysterical up to that point. But then at the end, we were trying to leave. All right, goodbye. Hello? That was a legendary episode.
Yeah, I'm not as drunk as I was that episode, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
That's what we love to hear. Love to hear.
So, Josh, what you been doing the last 10 years, man?
Surviving for the most part. Last 10 years, I've left college, I got a job, and I've been in a couple of bands. I'm currently in a band called XOX. I might send Ralph the details later. So if you guys want to check us out, we just played our first gig last night, and we sort of like if you're into your stone rock or your desert rock, Queens of the Stone Age kind of thing, you'll you might dig our sound that we're working towards.
I'm not gonna like it, Josh. That's Ian music. Now I like stone rock. Like
I know.
Caius. I love Caius.
You might like it. Yeah, I mean, you might like it, but I'm just prefacing that Queens of the Stone Age is an influence on at least one of our members, and the sort of riffs he comes out with. But it's not exactly the same as Queens. I mean, nothing else can be really. You know.
All right, I'm going to ask.
With different music.
Final Frontier by Iron Maiden was not an influence on the album or on the band, right?
No. Believe it or not.
Okay, good. I'll love it. I'll check it out.
I mean, not yet. Anyway, I mean, it's early days yet. We might enter our prog phase in about 3 albums time, but as of yet, no.
It's good to have you back, though, man. It's crazy to think 10 years. 10 years. That's how long we've been doing this shit. Holy fuck!
And I gotta tell you, man, this is Josh. Josh rules because he's been doing some track by tracks on my channel, and with all my bad news lately, Josh really cheered me up because he bought me the Moving Pictures.
Oh wow!
Deluxe edition box set.
Wow!
And dude, thank you so much. It's so cool that you did this for me, dude.
No, pleasure to seriously.
Way to show me up. I got him a slinky. I said, sorry about your tough times. Here's a slinky. And you get him a fucking Rush box set, asshole.
Oh, cheers, yeah.
Hey, no offense, Josh. I don't mean to say this to be offended, but I actually preferred the slinky.
It walks downstairs.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a slinky.
Well, I love how how things like that do bring you much amusement, Ralph. Didn't you? You know,
That's awesome though. I haven't seen the box set for that. What's it come with besides, of course, the album remastered?
A live show that's 4 vinyls
Wow.
that, Josh, and I got to listen to a little more. Josh told me he thinks it's better than Exit.
I said it. I said I think it's as good as Exit Stage Left.
So when I heard it, I thought, not better. It's as good though.
That's what I said to you as well.
Okay,
I did say.
Is it a complete show though?
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, there's live albums I don't mind that are like taken from various shows and stuff, but there's just something about, when it's one night.
Well, it was recorded in 2 nights at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Okay.
Isn't it Maple Leaf Gardens where the Canadians are from?
Yeah, that's in Toronto.
Yeah, everybody working that show was very nice. I'm telling, and the audience. Very, very nice people. Canadians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
except the French Canadians. Fuck them.
Have you still got?
Go ahead.
Look, Ian. If there's one person who should have a bee in their bonnet about the frogs, it's us Brits. Okay, I mean we have to put up with. They're just south of us, and we have to put up with their nonsense all the time regarding Calais and all that and refugees.
I know it's got to suck like when the wind's blowing the wrong way, and you got to smell those cheese-eating bastards. Ugh. We'll get into that later in the show. There's going to be some major revelations in this show, but it's going to come later.
No, good grief, I can't wait.
But no, man, this is really cool though, man. I'm still blown back by. I mean, just the fact seeing you now, and I remember when you were on the show, your hair was much shorter.
I had short hair and I didn't have any facial hair at all whatsoever, did I?
Exactly. You used to have pimples on your face. Now they're on your ass because you're an old man. That's what happens. Pimples don't go away. They just travel south. This is killer. And even though it's like, well, spoiler alert, the album we're getting into isn't my favorite, but I'm happy to talk about it with you two guys, and definitely glad to be talking to Ralph again. And it's been too long, so let's get into this motherfucker. And
I promise I'll be better than any other podcast I've been a part of in the past 10 years, whether that be
Cribs. That's real fucking hard.
Way to set the bar low. Whether that be Cribs, Prog Central, or the couple of shows I did with Ironcast.
Ironcast, you were on that too?
Yeah, a couple of episodes, and I actually think
I like the title. I thought that was a killer title for a show.
Yeah, that was with Luke Innes and Mr. T from Germany, right?
And
didn't I get in a fight with one of those guys? I don't even remember.
I don't think so.
No,
they're one of the few podcasts you didn't get in a fight with.
I get in a fight with so many people I forget.
It was Luke Innes, Mr. T from Germany, and everyone's favorite queer Greg Barnes.
Mr. T from Germany's all right. I know.
Oh yeah, and Greg Barnes kicks ass.
Yeah, Greg Barnes as well. So it leaves Luke Innes. Maybe he don't like me. I don't know. Who cares?
I think Luke's married now or some shit, or he's got a girlfriend or something. I saw something on Facebook.
He has a gal, but I don't think he's married.
I'm sure his gal has like a 12-inch dong.
Oh, come on.
One of those strap-on things, and she fucks Luke Innes up the ass.
Come on, dude. What did Luke do?
It has Innes in it.
Maybe he wasn't gonna have to fight with it.
I can't. I can't think what the reason you guys falling out could have been for. I don't know.
No, man, I'm just kidding. I'm
Yeah,
just,
I was gonna say.
you know,
Oh shit.
I'm just-
All right. Well, as everybody knows, well, maybe some don't know. There was a reason we haven't recorded for a while, and there was a great passing, a great human, a great American, uh, an incredible guy I was lucky to meet passed away. But then there's some pieces of shit who passed away too. Uh, but we still got to talk about it, man. Shifty Shell Shock.
yeah. Hey, I thought he died last month, but I'm like, oh, the guy from Firehouse died again. All I know is no Shifty, no Firehouse.
Man, Josh, how are you dealing with the loss of Shifty Shell Shock?
I'm just holding all the people in my thoughts and prayers. All those people who are going to be attending whatever county fair they were going to be playing at.
Yeah.
As you call them over in the States. We don't really have them over here.
Hey, Crazy Town was not as too. They were not big enough to play county fairs.
Wow, man,
But
he just couldn't win, could he?
it's sad though. It's like the minute he passed away, you see all this shit on the internet. Oh, must be drugs. Oh, it died of drugs. Nobody talks about what this guy really struggled with for years. And that's music. This guy struggled with music throughout his whole career. And I'm not mad at him. He had an illusion, a delusion, if you will. And that's why I say I hate fans, not bands. I'm not angry at Shifty. It's the people who bought the Crazy Town records, especially the first one. Those are the people who killed Shifty Shell Shock because they gave him the illusion that what he was doing was good and that people would like it. And then when they found out that it was a joke, then he went into the substances and everything like that. And if nobody would have bought that record, he would have moved on. He would have got a job at fucking McDonald's. And he probably would have lived a happy fucking life. But no, he thought he was a rock star for 2 fucking seconds.
That's why I don't get the hate for Nickelback. I saw this Nickelback documentary the other day on Netflix. Why they're so hated. And I'm watching this band, and all right, granted, I can't get into Nickelback music. Right. But God, it does not offend me at all. Like Crazy Town and Firehouse, those offend me. This is just like, I don't know, like, all right, let's just do rock for the masses. Some little okay riffs here and there. It's rocking. It's not my type of rock, but at least it's rocking. It's not one of these like, oh, Butterfly and Come My Lady and that shit offends me, man. But rest in peace. Either way, hey, when he died, just like in true fashion of Facebook, I saw a lot of people post about him saying how they liked him.
Well, I'll tell you what really disturbed me was I saw a post, I think it was his manager, said he died of drugs and a broken heart. And the broken heart referred to a couple years before his passing, he was dating Punky Brewster.
Was he really?
Yeah. And here's the thing, like Punky Brewster was a child star that kind of eluded the usual downfall of like, on drugs and everything's fucked.
Didn't she grow up to be like beautiful?
Oh, she's very pretty. Well, she had breast reduction, so she loses like 10 points for that. But she became like a director of documentaries and all this shit. Married a guy, had like 3 kids, but there was no like she got hooked on drugs and all the no Corey Feldman fucking bullshit. But then she started dating Shifty Shell Shock, who apparently was a childhood friend of hers. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, you got 3 kids. Your husband already said, take a long walk off a short pier. And you're gonna bring Shifty Shell Shock fucking home? Fuck you.
I
Fuck
guess
you. You're not thinking of your kids. You bring that son of a bitch into the house?
I guess that's what you get for being a child star. I guess that's what it does to
Yeah.
people. That's what it does to people.
I will say, I'm sure Punky Brewster got one of those big ass dongs, strap-ons and fuck shit shell shock. I'm sure that happened. I'm not joking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She
Rest
fucked.
in peace. So what if he wanted stuff in his butt? I love
Yeah.
it, really.
She's like, "Come, my junkie. Come, my junkie." Have you seen that video of him like recorded in a Guitar Center with, he like doesn't have his dentures anymore and he's doing Butterfly?
No.
Oh my God. He's got even more like face tattoos because that's what you need to get a job in America is more face tattoos. He's got no fucking teeth. He's doing Butterfly and there's a bunch of Mark Dailies on like playing on guitar and shit. And
So
your biggest hit is ripping off a fucking Chili Peppers instrumental.
Is
So
it
how have you?
that Chili Peppers, the Crazy Town song?
Oh yeah, Butterfly.
Oh, they said.
Yeah, it's an instrument on Mother's Milk, the album you like, Pretty Little
it's
Ditty.
on there.
Yeah,
What's
Pretty
it called?
Little Ditty. That little instrumental.
What's it called again?
It's called Pretty Little Ditty.
All right. I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, and it's just like this cool little thing John
It's
Frusciante does on
instrumental,
guitar.
right? It's instrumental.
Yeah,
Short.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
But they took that, made that like the juxtaposition of the song,
Yeah.
and then fucking rap some stupid shit over it,
and
that was their only fucking hit.
I guess I never sat long enough during that Crazy Town song to notice.
Oh, I know, and that's the thing. Like you and I both suffered. I know. Well, yeah, we were in Florida at the same time. We both saw Crazy Town twice in West Palm Beach because they were on. They paid the record label paid for them to be on Ozfest 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I'm sure I was walking around. I hated Ozfest. I mean, Ozfest was cool toward the end of the day, but with the classics, I'm an old fuck, and I can't accept. Even though now it's 20, 30 years old, I couldn't accept Cold Chamber, Slipknot, Machine Head, Power Mag 5000, all those new bands that they were shoving down our throat back then. Yeah. I would walk around Ozfest waiting for Slayer or Motorhead or Black Sabbath to get on stage, man. I'll never forget, man, when I saw Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was not popular.
When they came out of the toilet?
Yeah. I did not know Limp Bizkit at the time, right? This band comes on. I'm watching this, and every motherfucker around me were going ape shit. They all fucking worshipped it. And I'm like, you ever seen that meme where it's like Homer Simpson with a bunch of people around that aren't Homer Simpson? He's like, because that's what I felt like. I felt like that was the moment I noticed, oh shit, I'm old. That's it.
Well, the funny thing is, I didn't mind them at first. Like, I had no idea who the fuck they were. This is like before Nookie. When the whole like come out of the toilet, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is kind of rappy. But then I remember they did like some Slayer cover.
I remember he said some suicidal tendencies.
Yeah, Slayer and suicidal tendencies. I'm like, well, that ain't that bad.
I was like, don't say that.
No, but I went out and I bought $3 Bill, y'all, their first album, and I was like, the fuck? I got hoodwinked on this shit. This is terrible.
$3 Bill, you all. If that doesn't deter me from buying a CD, I don't know what will.
It sounds like a country album. $3 Bill.
And the funny thing is, like the one time I was like, we got to get to Ozfest early. And I know you could give two shits, Ralph, but Josh might like, or somebody in his band, was when Queens of the Stone Age was playing. And they were the first band on the main stage. I think it was like the second or third year when the Rated R record came out. And I was like, and everybody that I was going with could give two fucks. They didn't know nothing about that. I'm like, no, I gotta see this fucking band because I'd got into them like maybe a couple months, prior. So I was like, fuck, I gotta see this fucking band. But yeah, most of the time you got the Ozfest early, it's like just hang out and do drugs, because the early band sucked. You didn't want to see that shit.
Yeah,
Was it pretty much just an ego trip for Sharon then? Sharon going to be Sharon and try and make money, much the same as she's doing now with Ozzy wheeling him out every couple of years to do another mediocre as hell album.
Well, that's the sad thing. Like, if they brought it back now, it would be like Five Finger Death Punch headlining.
It wouldn't even be that. It wouldn't even be that. It'd be someone even worse, probably.
What's sad is I look back at Ozfest. Yeah, good thing it happened when it happened, because there's no way in hell you're going to get me to go stand somewhere in this hot Florida weather for 10 hours. Dude, seriously, man, festivals are out of the question. And even lately, I've been thinking, man, I don't even want to go to shows anymore. I mean, it has to be something to really entice me, because shows are not my shows. They're so sterile. $50 parking, $10 water, $30 beer. Come on, man.
Well, what sucks too, like for me, like I was excited to get out of New Orleans, because New Orleans, unfortunately, not a lot of bands go there. And then I come to Seattle, the Seattle area, I should say, where everybody plays. But god damn it, everybody plays here like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday when I cannot I get up at 3 a.m. to go to work. So I miss so many fucking shows. But a listener of ours, Matt Galteri, I'm gonna fuck up his last name. But anyway, he texted me, he says, hey, Jeff Tate's playing like the next city over, which is like, seriously, like fucking 12 minutes I'm there, but it's on a Thursday. I'm like, fuck. It's Jeff Tate, and it's $45 fucking dollars to see Jeff Tate solo. And I'm like,
that sounds about right. That sounds about like the club prices now.
I know, but I don't know. It's because I'm an old fuck, but I remember 1989 paying $28 to see the Stones.
Yeah, man. I
at lawn seats, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? $28. Holy shit.
Yeah, $28 is still a lot. For a club show what I have to pay for. It's still a lot. I can understand though. I mean, the cost of touring, the gas, all that shit.
Nobody buys records
that much. I'm not blaming prices. I'm blaming my decrepit old age. I'm kind of like, you know what it is too? Here's the other thing. It's like, bro, I've seen these bands when they ruled, when they didn't use tapes. Why do I want to go see this band that I've been watching for 40 years? Hey, man, enough. I kind of feel like I don't know what will make me go to see a show now.
Well, speaking of tapes, I might go now and see Wasp doing the first album. My son wants to go.
Let me tell you something. He uses tapes, but he sings with the tapes. He's singing. I was there. I was all the way up front. I noticed him singing. And I noticed the other voice, It's not him lip syncing. He is singing. Right. But you're going to hear, probably if you're far from the stage, it'll look fake. I don't know. But I was all the way up front. I could tell that motherfucker was singing with some backing tapes,
Josh, do you play live?
And Ian, just say about Wasp. Blackie has recently come out and said, if none of some fans believe, none of Wasp's performances are live, if he just says, well, if they genuinely feel that way, then don't go.
Yeah.
which is a bit daft, because there's people who might take him up on that, or if it's just like
Well, he also said he hasn't written a new song since 1989. Everything that's been released since then is just a rehash of shit he's done before,
Except
which
Kill
I
Fuck
agree
Die.
with.
Except Kill Fuck Die, which is the same thing, just with some industrial sounds.
Hey,
I made
I
it.
prefer Kill Fuck Die over a lot of those other albums.
I made
I
it.
like it. I
I
like
made
Kill
an
Fuck Die.
episode on Still Not Black Enough. I think that's the most underrated Wasp album. I would put it as my third favorite. First album, Headless Cross, Still Not Black Enough. Those are my 3 top Wasp albums.
Well, see,
Idol.
Still Not Black Enough sold like 10 copies, and I think they should change the name to Still Heard Too Much. That's just terrible.
I
Terrible.
bet you anything.
I cannot.
I bet you
agree there,
anything. A week from today, Ian, I'll get that joke.
Headless Children is my favorite Wasp album.
My second favorite. I love that album.
That's a good one, man. Nothing touches that first one.
The first one,
But,
I mean,
Ralph taught me the errors of my ways. For a long time, I held like Last Command in the same like light as the first album, and I still love Last Command. Don't get it twisted. Let's shit the bed. But nothing touches that first album. Holy shit!
I like half. Widowmaker is awesome. I like half.
There's some good ones. Hey, I still love fucking Inside the Electric Circus, but I mean, it's like song for song.
You know, Blackie's gone on record saying that's not only the worst album he's ever made. He thinks it's the worst album made by anybody.
I know. Well, he needs to listen to some other albums that he made.
Man, somebody donated for me to do Inside the Electric Circus not too long ago. I enjoyed it, man. I really did enjoy it. Do I think it's a great album? No. But man, Restless Gypsy's an awesome song.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real good song. And
Have you heard those?
Good stuff, man. There's good stuff on that album.
Have you heard those reports around Johnny Rod, though? I've seen this on some Wasp pages. He's been arrested for DV.
Ooh.
And Johnny Rod.
What?
Johnny Rod.
For what?
DV, domestic violence.
Oh, wow.
Saw some altercation between him and a gal on a street in a car park or something like that, where he was hitting her, and there was an intervention from someone. And I could have sworn there was another police report I saw on a Wasp page somewhere that he'd been arrested for fiddling kids as well.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I can't remember the ins and outs, but I can't remember the ins and outs of it. But I remember.
You should join Manowar then.
Ian, your Manowar hate isn't fooling anybody anymore after what we uncovered on Facebook.
Yeah, tell him, Josh.
You're not fooling anybody, Ian, with that.
Hey, Josh, it's a good thing that he's into your type of music now, because in 10 years he's gonna say it sucks.
Oh, and that let's get into this. Oh, shall we?
Oh yeah.
We'll bear it in mind. We'll bear it in mind as we're going through Black Rose when it comes to songs that you don't like.
Oh God, that shit won't change. Here's the thing. So there's a lot of shit after the Man of War episode where I posted a Man of War song. And now that Man of War song, I didn't mind. What was it? Black Wind, Kitty Fucker, something or other. I like that.
I hate that song because it says Kitty Fucker.
I like that song. But goddamn, listen to that band, and listen to the album he picked in particular. Holy fuck, I couldn't stand it. And then there's some shit I used to post shit on the page. Like I would try to break it up and do different shit because what I hate is when like somebody posts like the same band all the time. I can't stand that shit. So I'll post different shit. Sometimes I don't like classic versus crap. There's songs that I posted on that I think are crap, but I'm like, hey, let's get discussion. Let's get people talking and shit like that. I did like that one Man of War song. Wasn't bad. That one Man of War song, though, I couldn't stand. And then, let's get about what was the other one? The fucking...
Oh, yeah. You even fucking said, and it was the album we reviewed.
Yeah, Candlemass.
Yeah, Yeah.
Candlemass. So here's the
Nightfall,
thing.
right?
Candlemass.
Yeah.
You tried to get me into Candlemass. So I checked it out and I liked the song in and of itself. And then I went and checked out some other Candlemass. And Candlemass has a lot of different lineups, a lot of different singers. I checked out a song here or there. I'm like, okay, not too bad. I'm liking this shit. But man, there's sometimes when you listen to a fucking album, and I think, Ralph, you'll back me up on this shit. Okay, like this song doesn't get you. This song, and by the end, it could be the best song ever, but you are so like, just let this fucking shit end that you can't even appreciate it. And I did say that in the Manowar review we did. The last song, I didn't mind, but I was so fucking like, ugh. By the time I heard it, I couldn't even give it like the usual like review that I normally could, because I was just so like, let this shit end, let this shit end. This is some fucking terrible shit. And sometimes people change their fucking mind. I remember, Ralph, you hated fucking Black Crows. You saw him and the guitar player, looked like he was pouting the whole time. You're like, fuck this band. And then you called me when you listened to one album and you're like, I like this album. You weren't necessarily a Black Crows fan, but you're like, I like this album. Shit changes. People's opinion changes. But, I'm a poser because I posted this video and all this shit. And I'm fucking dying laughing. Look at this shit.
Come on, look, whether you like it or not, Ian, I am imposing the Manowar theory on the Rock and Metal Combat page.
No, and it's funny. It's funny, but oh my God. You should have seen the messages I got after that Manowar episode. Sinzak sent me a great one. Sinzak was like, he's trolling you. He's trolling you. There's no way he likes Manowar as much as he's saying. There's no way he thinks fucking Eric Adams is better than fucking Dio.
Yeah, I actually do. But I will say this. In his defense, I am trolling this one page called Motherfuckers of Metal. I think it's Mofos of Metal. Dude, I am the biggest Manowar troll and this is why I brought it over to our page. I blame the Mofos of Metal because this page has so many Manowar lovers and Manowar haters, but the Manowar haters are hysterical because they really get mad. Like more mad than Scab Kiss fans and Mom.
Oh my God, Kiss.
They go fucking mental. But at the same time, the defenders of Manowar are hysterically sheepish. They're awesome sheep. I mean, those motherfuckers, nothing. So I go on there and they'll put a bowl, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne versus Manowar. I'll leave a comment. Fuck that hippie shit. Manowar. You know what I mean? It's fun. Fuck it. But yes, I do actually honestly think Eric Adams is the greatest singer in metal. That I will say. But Manowar,
you're serious about that shit.
Yes. But Manowar, I wouldn't put, over Sabbath and a lot.
But you think Manowar is better than Dio?
No. Musically, no. Well, Holy Diver and Last in Line, I'll put over any Manowar song. Mob Rules and Heaven and Hell, Rainbow Rising, all that Dio stuff, I would put above Manowar.
See, I put the lead singer of fucking Rhino Bucket over fucking Manowar, but no, it is. But it's funny though because it did start a lot of shit on the page. I know when Sam Wetz went back and posted the shit that I put, like, oh my God, nobody ever changes their mind. I remember
I just saw it as an opportunity to.
Oh no, and it was
Man of Warriors. Let's attack the posers. Death to false metal.
Who's to say that Ian's not going to pull this with Van Hagar? I mean,
well, no, Ian bought Van Hagar albums.
I did, but
he actually bought those goddamn albums.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Ian. You're way different than me. As far as Black Crows go, who knows? Maybe if I heard that album before I went to go see it live, I would have loved the album. I didn't hear the album till years and years later.
Well, like you
Man,
hated the Clash, and then you wrote me back like London Calling's a great album.
and now I think even Give Enough Rope's even better.
Really?
The second album's my favorite.
You like Give Enough Rope better than London Calling?
Yep.
Wow.
I love London Calling though. I do love it.
Wow.
But
I gotta pee.
no, but that's different. I didn't hear, that Cadillac tune. I didn't hear all these greats. But okay, I will give you this. The last song, Train in Vain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember hating it as a kid, but for me to say the Clash sucked later, obviously it didn't do nothing for me. I love Train in Vain now. So yes, that does happen. But when it comes to something I love, no. I'm sorry. There's nothing I love that I later hate. But that's not. That's
so you can hate it and then love it, but you can't love it then hate it.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I gotta pee.
Like I was explaining, Josh. Like the Clash, yeah, I hated it, and then I loved it, but there's nothing I loved and later hate. But I know I'm a minority of that because I've seen a lot of people online saying, "Oh, I used to like that, but now it's dated," and I don't feel that way at all about anything. Even like a Great Suspect, Quiet Riot's Mental Health. That shit's dated, but I still fucking love the hell out of that album.
Didn't you used to love Countdown by Rush though, off of Signals?
Yes. But
now you don't. But now you don't.
There you go. You just brought up, yeah, that's true.
I've really got into Rush the past couple of years, so.
I pulled an E in there. Yeah, I admit it. Yeah, I did not like Countdown. I mean,
don't ask me why I remember that.
But now it's like, I really don't care. So yeah, I guess I'm a poser too.
No, don't ask me why I remember that. I remember stupid stuff like that. But, on the Clash, I know more songs by the Clash than I do albums because this was like over 10 years ago. This was now when I was properly getting into music. My uncle sent me a CD of Clash singles. So the Clash were one of the first proper bands I had an album by and punk music by as well. So the Clash singles that I know, I do like, but I don't know any of their albums in full, so I can't really comment on what I feel about the Clash overall. But the hits that I've heard, I really like.
Yeah, I dig the Clash now, and Ian, when you were saying, oh, you can hate stuff, don't like it, but you can't love and hate. Well, Josh just brought up an example of something I used to love and now hate. So I'm a poser like you.
What's that?
Countdown by Rush. I used to like that song. I don't like it anymore. I think it's the only bad song on Signals. I turn off Signals when that song comes on. I used to like it though.
It happens. I mean, all of us that had a girlfriend that at one time were like, oh, she's the one. And then we're like, die. Shit. I mean, usually I will say this. Normally it's more you didn't like something than you do than it is you like something. I will say that is, but you got to admit, I mean, doing this show, Ralph, there's certain albums we've had to review where even if there's one song you like, if you got to listen to it its entirety, by the end, you're like, no, and that's how it is. But it's all fun. But no, I actually defended you because I thought you did like Man of War that much. I'm glad you don't.
No, but I love Manowar. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not one of these,
right.
Online, I'm one of these death of false metal. And,
yeah. And I will say, what's the first Manowar one?
The first album?
Yeah.
Battle Hymns.
Battle Hymn. Okay, so I remember we were talking about it before. And that album I liked a lot more than the one we ended up reviewing. But it was still like, I remember listening to that album. I got like so many songs into it. I'm like, Okay, this isn't on my bucket list. This isn't going to stay in like heavy rotation, but there's a song here or there that I like. But overall, it's like, yeah, no.
Well,
All
there you
right.
go. There's Ian doing his damage control. It reminded me a lot of when when Jimmy Swagger said, "I sinned against you, my Lord."
All right. Well, here's something I want to hear you talk about. Oh yeah, Peter Collins is dead.
Who's that?
Producer.
Producer. He did Rush, uh, Queensryche, uh, but
Yeah,
he did like horrible Rush albums.
yeah. I was about to
So
say, what albums did he do by Queensryche and Rush?
well, he did a couple I like and a couple I can't stand. He did Power Windows and Hold Your Fire.
Oh, horrible.
In my opinion, the two
I'm the odd one
worst
out.
Rush albums. But he did Counterparts and Test for Echo that I like.
Yeah, I like those albums too.
So, but anyway,
I
he's
like
dead.
I like all four of those.
Ugh.
I know, I know. Look, it's an age thing. It's obviously an age thing. I don't
Yeah.
know. I love Power Windows and Oldie Fire and Counterparts and Test for Echo.
Hey,
I love it.
and that's an age thing. Your reaction to him is my reaction when you talk about the ultimate sin. It's an age thing.
Yeah. No,
This is
I
what
get
something that's.
because I've noticed that much more. Like, but I fully admit it. There's stuff that I like that I fully admit. Like, if I didn't like it as a kid, there's no way I'd like it now. Because as an older man, I'm much less tolerant. If I don't get something right away, I'm like, fuck it. You know, where if I was a kid and liked something, I was like, brings back great memories and all this shit. You know, but there's a ton of cock rock that I like now that I know if I heard it for the first time now, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here with this shit. But but
I,
Power Windows and Hold Your Fire, god damn! I remember hearing Hold Your Fire like the world premiere. I can't remember what song it was, but I was like, ugh, Rush sucks. This is terrible.
I gave up on Rush. I stopped seeing them till well, they didn't come down for Counterparts. I would have went to that, but Test for Echoes, and I never
Yeah,
missed the tour after Test for Echoes. So I saw Moving Pictures tour. I saw Exit Stage Left tour. I saw Signals. Saw
yeah.
Grace Under Pressure, and then not till Test for Echoes.
Yes. See, I don't know. Like, I can't give you an honest answer, even though Rupert Hine produced it, not Peter Collins. But Presto was my first Rush album,
Oh,
and I love it. I love it. But I can't tell you honestly if I would like it if it was like a first time listen now. All I can think back of is February of 1990, getting it, and I fell in love with it, and that was the first tour I saw was the Presto tour, and it was an amazing night. So there's so many things that like it'll always be that, but I can't forgive fucking Hold Your Fire or fucking goddamn fucking Power Windows like
that's
big
that's
money.
I was a Rush fan till Power Windows.
Yeah, Big Money sucked, and Manhattan Project and Marathon. I didn't like any of that shit. But the funny thing, I love Grace Under Pressure.
I love it too.
Even though it's weird and it's different, it's definitely going lighter. There's more keyboards and shit, but I like Grace Under Pressure.
I don't know. Grace Under Pressure was kind of a radical departure, but for some reason it connected. But
Yeah,
it didn't sound like Signals or earlier Rush. It was them going
yeah.
direction, and I dug it. I dug the album, man. But then Power Windows, I was like, all right, that's when I jumped off. And then every album after that, it was like, yeah, I hear a couple songs. All right, keep going till they gave on Headbangers Ball. They gave the Stick It Out video.
Love Stick It Out.
I was like, holy shit, Rush is back. Great song.
Well, you know who else is back, but not till 2025 is Poison. Ricky Rockert has confirmed Poison will tour in 2025. As usual, there will be no backing tracks.
How sad is it, Ian, that we have to talk about Poison because our listeners like Poison.
But
That's
will
sad.
CC be falling down a flight of stairs though? That's the question.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Only during a guitar solo.
During solo.
And will Brett Michaels treat us to his animal noises?
Oh, that's the shit I loved about those Poison. Those cow, cow, those weird noises that guy made.
But you know, Mark Daly will be there. I don't know who else will be there, but Mark Daly will be there.
What was he do? What's he doing? Open up and say, "Oh, yeah," something like that.
We need to get some acid so we can do Poison, Flesh or Blood.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
That's the one with Unskinny Bob, isn't it?
Yeah, yep.
I heard it. Somebody donated for me to do Flesh and Blood, and I heard it. It's hysterical.
Oh, what else is in the news? Oh, you know what, man? It's not music related, but Martin Mull died.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, he was funny. I liked him. Oh my god, I saw this and it made me chuckle. People were excited because Megadeth performed "Kick the Chair" for the first time in 15 years.
I saw it live.
Oh, you were at that show?
No, man, they showed it live as it happens online.
Oh.
And I watched it, and the set list wasn't that bad. They threw in Rattlehead. They threw in Mechanics and a couple other songs. But yeah, Kick the Chair These Nuts. What the fuck? Who gives a fuck about that song?
I do. Yeah, I do like that album though. System's Failed. It's better than.
And then Kick the Chair, I don't think it's a bad song, but it's to me it doesn't warrant like, oh my god, they brought it back to the set list.
Yeah.
Hey, Looking Down the Cross. Now that's something that would be
exactly. Cool. Thank you.
Put that in the set list, or My Last Words. Throw that in the set list, and I'll be impressed.
But I mean, I'll take it over Super Collider.
Oh, God, Super Collider.
That's my least favorite. That's my least favorite Megadeth album.
Worse than Risk, huh?
Just about, yeah.
I never listened to Super Collider because everybody bitching about it. I was like, I don't want to hear this.
Super Collider just sounds like Dave wasn't even trying. Like with Risk, at least it was like different. But with
I don't know. Super Collider sucks, but I think I'd take it over Risk and World Needs a Hero.
World Needs a Hero. That was a sad album.
That's not good. No, they go back on track with Systems Failed, I think.
But I will say something that I think only I think. I think Return to Hangar is better than Hangar 18.
Ooh!
Yeah, you might be alone on that one.
I'm totally alone on that one.
Yeah. What's your problem with fucking Hangar 18? God damn.
I hate that song, dude. I like the end where Marty and Dave go back and forth, because the song changes. Before that, it's like, Green Day. It always, even when it was brand new, it always annoyed me. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to make a video for this crap now? I find Rust in Peace kind of overrated. I think there's filler tracks on it. I don't like Five Magics. I don't like Poison Was the Cure. I think the greatest Megadeth song ever is Holy Wars. I think that's their greatest song. And I like Souls and Polaris.
Do you think they made a better album since Rust in Peace?
No. Dystopia comes kind of close.
Yeah. No, I saw this thing on Facebook. It was something about
Endgame's good.
They said what the fuck was it? They said Risk was better than the worst Slayer album. And I was like, fucking Megadeth has made 10 albums worse than the worst Slayer album.
I don't know.
Megadeth has a lot of shitty albums.
Diablos was too new metal for me.
I know, but I would still take Diablos over Risk.
I wouldn't. I'll take that crappy crap over new metal any day.
Yeah. There we differ. All right. Well, here's something I'm interested to hear your opinion because I've seen different posts about this shit, and I know you're a huge Ace Frehley nut swinger, Ralph. What's going on with this Orlando show that Tim Bream was at? First of all, I saw
Tim
the
Breen
thing
was
about
there. Tim Breen was there.
yeah, yeah. First, I saw this thing about the drummer bitch, like he stopped the show because they didn't put the spotlight on him
Yeah,
while
during
he
Love
sang
Gun.
Love Gun or some shit.
Yeah, during Love Gun, they didn't shine the light on him, and he stopped the song.
Right, but apparently it got worse from there. What happened?
Yeah, Ace just talked gibberish, talking about, oh, I ride around my motorcycle with the leader of the Hells Angels. It's like, the hell brought that up? And then he talks about my ex Rachel is suing me for 2.5 million, so I got to go to San Diego to court. But she's gonna lose because I got some witnesses that are gonna bury her. And I'm thinking, you're going to fucking court and you're airing this in public. You know what I mean? And he just said other stuff too that sounded like a guy on drugs. If he wasn't drunk, I don't think he was drunk. I think he was on pills. He was
Well,
fucked up, man.
that's what I've heard is he's traded in the alcohol for pills.
That I believe it. And man, the plane was so shitty. Like he wasn't even trying.
Well, his plane's been shit. I mean, here's all you need to know: it's Ace Frehley, and what is there? Four fucking guitar players or three or whatever?
Here's the deal, dude. I know what you're gonna say. Ace Frehley's always sucked. Okay, fine. I don't think he's ever sucked as bad as this Orlando show. This Orlando show to me is a beat. And I've seen many shitty Ace Frehley shows. But this shit was, look at the intro to Shout Out Loud. That says it all.
Well, I will say this. I don't think he's like a great guitar player, but he has a sound. And I like that. Sometimes the sound is better than your technical ability. If you have something where somebody hears it and they know it's you,
it's still
there's something to be said for that.
Well, the sound is shit too now.
Right. But, and then there was the post about him breaking up with his current girlfriend. And I know I put a post on our Facebook page that a lot of people saw, but for those who didn't, the saddest thing is, he announced he broke up with this chick, and he wrote her a Dear John letter, and it was written by Steve Brown. That's the saddest thing, and it was called Fractured 25. He put at the top, so that's pretty fucked up.
Oh yeah, and I thought you liked Ace's last album though.
I haven't liked an Ace album since Trouble Walking. And even that is kind of, I mean, I think there's some highlights on that album, but Trouble Walking's the last one I gave a fuck about, The new shit's just fucking terrible. And I like the video where there's a Dr. Fuck. I like that.
Yeah, but that was a covers album. That don't count.
Yeah, but you're in it, so I like it.
Yeah, it's a good cover of.
But 10 years from now, I'll probably hate it.
Oh yeah, of course you will.
All right, let's see what else is going on in the world of fucking metal. Oh, Glenn Hughes, he'll never talk to Ian Gillan or Roger Glover again. And I don't think they're going to lose any sleep, I don't think they're in the right. I think they should have shown a lot more respect to it. But, yeah, that falls on ego. I think that lineup does deserve respect. I mean, fuck, I like this will probably like freak a lot of people out, but I like Come Taste the Band even more than Burn or Stormbringer. I love Come Taste the Band. I think that shit's great. But I know this will get edited and put on Facebook as I said I love Come.
Now I'm just gonna take that piece out and then add it back in 10 years when you talk about how you hate the band.
Terrible. It doesn't sound like Deep Purple.
This is an interesting thing. Daily I do a news segment on my channel.
Yeah.
It's the only news that matters. And I did one for this. And my God, it's the most viewed video I've done in the past couple of weeks. I mean, it's because I have this little thing where I can see, which videos are doing the best.
Right.
It's been at #1 for quite a few days. A lot of people.
Nice.
And then there was a lot of comments. I mean, more comments about Glenn Hughes' ego than Ian Gillan, and one guy wrote Roger Glover doesn't have a mean bone in his body. I know him personally. Blah blah blah. Glenn Hughes has got a bad ego. So a lot of people are blaming Glenn Hughes for Ian Gillan and Glover and Pace not to like him.
Well, from everything that I've read, I think Ian Gillan and Glenn Hughes both have the fucking ego. Gillan refuses to admit that there was Deep Purple after him. And I think Glenn Hughes kind of overestimates his importance and his era of Deep Purple. So it's kind of a both loggerhead kind of thing. I love Glenn Hughes. I think he's great, but I mean, if you look at the importance and the albums that people still talk about to this day, it's not the Mach 3 era or the Mach 4. It's all about Mach 2.
And I think that's the best lineup, Mach 2.
Yeah, and I get it, but yeah, at the same time, yeah, Gillan was kind of a dick about it, But then again, he was there. It was his baby, To me, there's only one era of Van Halen, so who am I to judge? But anyway, I hope the new Glenn Hughes album is awesome. I loved his last Resonate, his last solo album.
Yeah, because it hasn't been 10 years yet.
Yeah, no, I love that shit. I haven't checked out the new Black Country Communion. Do you guys like Black Country Communion at all?
Yeah, I like it. I haven't heard of the new one though.
Yeah, new one just came out. Let's see what's up. Oh God, was this fucking bad? Did you guys hear the new Def Leppard song, Just Like 73?
I have not brought myself to yet.
Yeah, I was like, why? I didn't even click it. I was like,
apparently it's done really well as well chart wise. I don't know the exact specifics. Here it's done.
I was surprised. I was looking on, I watched the video on YouTube, and then I was like, let me check out the comments and see what other people think of this. And it was just like, holy fuck! I didn't find one bad comment, not one. And I scrolled down for a while. I'm like, where's somebody who listened to this fucking song?
But if it's on the Def Leppard YouTube page, it's run by Def Leppard fans that are gonna like it.
But I'm wondering, I'm like, do comments get deleted, or am I just so like out of touch?
Oh, there's negative comments there, dude. If they're not there, they were deleted.
Did you hear it though, Ralph?
No, I didn't. I didn't even bother to click on it because
it's bad.
I know what to expect. Is it any worse than what they've been doing?
I think so. I think it is so far removed.
I gotta tell you, bro. My viewers made me listen to every single Def Leppard album. I heard them all. They're all fucking terrible, especially the one called X, because that album they actually attempted to be a boy band.
Yeah, I heard. I haven't heard a Def Leppard album in its entirety since Slang. And funny thing, shit can change. I haven't heard Slang since it came out, but I remember like, wow, it's better than I thought. I liked it. I liked it a lot better than what's that? Adrenalize and Hysteria.
There's the last new Def Leppard I heard was the one they put out in 2015 with Let's Go on it or whatever it was.
Was that just Sparkle? Sparkle in the the Sparkle Lounge?
No, it was the self-titled one.
Oh, yeah.
2015 self-titled. It just had Let's Go that just sounded like Pour Some Sugar on Me again. And but I mean, I'll say this about later Def Leppard. There's stuff on Slang and a couple of tracks on Euphoria that I like. But outside of that, I mean, X is just an abortion. And and I've not cared about hearing anything new they've done since that self-titled album, to be honest, because it's just going to sound like everything they've done since Hysteria.
I know, and it's sad too. I was in my car the other day, and a lot of times when I'm in my car, I've got, all these gigs taken up by music, I have on shuffle and stuff like that. And fucking High and Dry came on. Not the song, but it was a track off the album. It was like well, every track off of High and Dry is a lesser known track to most, Def Leppard fans. But I was just like, God damn, this band was so good. For a hot fucking minute, for 3 albums, they were really fucking good. I'm like, what the fuck happened? I guess, money happened and fans happened. And once again, this is why I hate fucking fans, man. Because if fans would speak up and say, nope, but it's a bunch of goddamn enablers. And who's dumber? The same thing with Shifty Shell Shock and fucking Crazy Town. Who's more of the enemy? The guy that signed this band and said, hey, I'll put out your record, or the people who bought it? Who's worse? I'm asking you guys. Who's more the enemy?
Obviously,
Who's the fool?
Because the other guys signed Def Leppard because they know they're going to make a lot of money.
Right. But I'm saying like I've come up with a lot of shitty ideas. But who's worse, me for coming up with the shitty idea, or other people who say, "Hey, that's a great idea"?
Or but where did it factor into you deciding that you should maybe try this idea? And then only once you tried putting the idea into practice that someone else can go, hey, yeah, you should do more of that.
Yeah, I mean, should we kill everybody or should we kill the followers? Because I think that people who support this shit are far worse, because everybody comes up with bad fucking ideas. But it's the sheep that follow, I think, are far more dangerous than the bad idea.
There are so many great bands now. I do this episode on my channel about 10 bands that just blew my mind. That came out, their album came out in 2024. And my God, this year alone, I've done like 4 episodes, 40 bands already found that fucking rule. They will never, ever, ever be popular. I will never, ever see them tour my town. Yeah. Nobody gives a fuck about killer traditional metal. Like me and maybe, 20 people in each state, like Metal Ben. That guy cares. I know a few people that care, but, old guys like me. All I do is look for new music that sounds like old music.
Hey, did you tell me about Metal Priest?
No.
Have you talked? Oh, I found this band from Portugal called Metal Priest. And their first 2 albums are in Spanish, so I don't know what the fuck they're saying. But I love the music. And then, like, the last 2 albums are in English. But it's like, imagine Judas Priest meets Merciful Fate or King Diamond. Because the singer kind of goes back and forth between Rob Halford-esque vocals and King Diamond-esque vocals. But musically, it is just like traditional metal, maybe borderline like speed metal, like early proto speed metal.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, this sounds so good.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, Ian. I'm discovering all these bands that have the speed metal element in their
right.
Not all songs are fast, but they have like
right.
speed metal type song. Then they have that mid-tempo traditional metal.
Right. Yeah, these guys are just like that.
Yeah. That's what I've been discovering. I'll look into Metal Priest. But
You know.
there's a
Yeah,
lot of bands like that now.
but it's like you told me about what's one Night Demon. Reminds me of a band like that. It's like, God damn, they got one foot in like the glorious past of like early 80s new wave of British heavy metal. But there's still some modern elements and stuff, and it's just like, God damn, this shit sounds so good. But if you don't look for it, you're not gonna find it. It's not just gonna come knocking at your fucking doorstep. There's no fucking Headbangers Ball anymore. There's no MTV. There's nobody taking a chance if they don't think it's an instant like this is gonna sell. But there is some great shit out there. What I haven't heard though, and this is unfortunate, and I think this is a bad sign, is I haven't heard the band that's taken it to the next level.
No, you're
like
not.
Something,
you're not going to.
Like something new, but I want that.
It won't happen, Ian. Here's the thing: there will be a band like that, but the public is not going to catch on. We're not.
Well,
the public now is not into music like we were. Dude.
Well, I don't even care about the public because I mean the public.
But the public is what made Nirvana huge.
Right.
Nevermind didn't sell any copies. It's still a breakthrough album, but it didn't sell anything. So an album today that would be released that's a breakthrough album, nobody's going to care.
No, but what I'm saying, as a metal fan, I want to hear something like Next Level, that I can get into.
I'm that's cool that you think that. I'm fine with them keeping that traditional shit I love.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I'm like the new bands that I love are something like what Josh is describing, what his bands are. I love stoner rock. I love psychedelic drug music, metal, with a heavy Sabbath influence. I love like a fuzz tone, sound like it was made in a garage and like unique vocals, not necessarily like a fucking Jeff Tate. But somebody like an Ozzy or a David Lee Roth that has a distinctive voice and shit like that. I mean, that's what I think. But, remember, thrash metal took it to the next level, okay? And then you had, your groove metal with Pantera that was like a new style type sound. Unfortunately, they founded, a lot of other shitty bands came along because of them. But, Faith No More, I know you don't like them, but it's a band that, I love and I think expanded the sound. But unfortunately, a lot of other shitty bands came along that said, oh, yeah, that's what we were inspired by. But I want to see, another band that, next level shit.
But
I don't hear it.
Faith No More is a good example. Their follow-up to their big hit was an album called Angel Dust.
Angel Dust, yeah.
And most people think it's a better album. Most people think it's their best album.
Right.
Didn't really perform as well as the one with Epic.
Right. It's 1,000 times better album.
It's the public. Noel Gallagher said it best. That, I forgot how he said it, but he goes, Jimi Hendrix was not property of the people. Jimi Hendrix became, he was so powerful that people came to him. So he said, fuck the public. The public is what swarms to what's good. You know what I mean? Right. And then there's public that swarms to what sucks. So I really don't care. At the moment, as we're taping now, Taylor Swift owns the music world.
I still can't quite work out why Taylor Swift has taken off in the way that she has.
She is the biggest thing ever.
She's taken off in the way that she has done. I can't work out why though. This fandom has appeared out of nowhere.
I don't know, man, but that girl, I like her. I'm a Swiftie. I wanted to go see her when she was playing here. But man, the cheapest tickets
are you serious? You would go see that shit?
Yeah, I wanted to go see it, but $800, fuck that. I don't like
What
her.
what what about her appeals to you? What about her music appeals to you?
She's got catchy pop songs. Some songs I don't like. I'm not saying I like everything she's done, but she has some really catchy pop songs.
You need to shake that shit off. Shake it off.
Good
Yeah, I will in 10 years.
on him.
In 10 years, I'll be saying she's.
Fucking
Don't you
Taylor
want?
Swift.
Don't you wonder though, Ian? You mentioned about who's going to be like the next like innovator within
Right.
music. What is there left to innovate? Like,
Maybe there's not. Maybe I'm just like
Yeah, man. I think
you
we
know.
reached. I think we reached the point of no return where we can't come up with anything.
Maybe the only way is to go back. Like okay, like guitarists. You got Jimi Hendrix. You got Eddie Van Halen. I think took it to the next level. After Eddie Van Halen, the only guitar player I think took it to the next level was Dimebag. And in my opinion, nobody has elevated guitar playing since Dimebag.
no
Not,
one that's
not,
reached.
what's that?
Certainly, nobody that's reached the level of fame that he has.
Right, yeah, yeah. And you're absolutely right. Nobody that I've heard, and maybe that's my fault for not checking shit out. But I think nobody's taken it to that next level.
I
Um,
think the greatest guitar player technically was Sean Lane. You know who Sean Lane is?
no.
Exactly. That motherfucker, to me, I don't think anybody was better at guitar playing than Sean Lane. He was a freak of nature. He died. He's a big boy. He was very
What
obese.
about Ruben De La Rosa?
Ruben De La Rosa's up there with Shaw, and then he's more Alan Holdsworth.
I
But
love that guy.
Sean Lane, forget it.
So, but it is funny though. I mean, I talk about this shit. I'm like, I want to see somebody take it to the next level. But the next word out of my mouth is the younger bands that I get into go back to the Sabbath influence. There's something, it's all like, Sabbath style riffs, psychedelic type, garage rock, lo-fi, riff heavy shit. That's the only thing that grabs my attention anymore. Sometimes I check out like newer thrash bands, and I like some shit. There's some cool newer thrash bands, but by and large, I go more towards like something that leans towards Sabbath. That never gets old for me. All right, well, that sounds about it for news. Fuck it, we've gone on long. It's been a long news segment, but it's been fun. It's been fun, but fuck it. Let's get into the album that we're going to talk about. And I'm
Oh,
still kind of
wait. One more news story. It won't take long.
one more news story. Okay, here we go.
Ace Frehley still likes stuff shoved up his ass.
Hey, who doesn't? Except the rest of us.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Get to the album.
All right. Well, who picked this one? Is this you, Josh, that picked this
Hello.
out?
Yep, your boy overrated.
Okay. Well, interesting because this is something rather than I've talked about before. We've done Thin Lizzy episodes in the past. We've actually had a former member of Thin Lizzy on the show, Darren Wharton. Um, but man, I wouldn't have picked this fucking album. But I will say this is something a lot of fans love this shit and hold in high self-esteem or esteem. Uh, Axl Rose has this shit tattooed on his body. Why doesn't he have Chinatown tattooed? I don't know. But
I thought you were going to say
Josh,
Chinese democracy then.
yeah, Chinatown democracy. That should be a tattoo. But why did you pick this album? And tell us about how you got into Thin Lizzy and all your history. Blah blah blah.
All right, well, I picked Black Rose, this epic album here. I have the 2019 vinyl reissue right here, which brings the demos for this album as well that were done at Good Earth Studios in London. I picked Black Rose because, well, it's one of the two first Thin Lizzy albums that I ever heard. Lizzy. All the way back in 2012. This was. I can remember. Well, Thin Lizzy was one of the first hard rock bands that I ever heard. I remember my earliest memory of them was hearing my dad um, mentioning that he'd seen Thin Lizzy in the early '80s with Snowy White. Um, I can't think of the tour exactly, but he did see them with Snowy White, and I remember after that, uh, when I was getting into hard rock even more, I heard Boys Are Back in Town and Jailbreak, obviously. So I did know those songs, and then I remember we were in London one time at the Olympics when London hosted the Olympics in 2012, and we'd gone to see the table tennis, and we got kind of bored during the match, so we left, and we just went walking around London instead, visiting some music shops, and
Table
one of the
tennis. You're talking about ping pong, right?
oh, I forgot, yeah, that, yeah, that,
No wonder you got
um,
bored.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah. It was Asian countries. There's two Asian countries. I forget which ones, and it was literally just they were doing the same moves back and forth across the table. It was yeah,
Can you say ping pong anymore, or is that like racially insensitive?
not that I'm aware of. As far as I know,
Okay,
you can.
just checking.
I mean, we don't call it that over here anyway. So in the States, I don't know.
You know,
So I
you
remember.
that's what they call Israel and Palestine ping pong now.
There you go. You just solved the Israel-Palestine conflict right there. That's what we're going to call them from now on.
Josh's old co-host calls it Jewtown. You know, so
Oh, hey, you're the one he likes.
I know, right? But I said it with a wink.
Yeah.
Don't remind me. Don't call me his old co-host. Bloody hell. Okay. Trying to get away from that.
Hey, you survived crib death.
That I did, yeah. And by that I mean I got out as quickly as I could. Um, but so yeah, walking around London with my dad that one time, we visited some music shops, and in one of them I bought two Thin Lizzy albums with the money that I had to get into, and that was Jailbreak and Black Rose. And I remember the rest of that holiday, because we that was a long holiday we were on. I remember having Jailbreak and Black Rose on this, get this right, on this portable CD player that I had, and just sitting in my holiday room, just listening to those two albums, Black Rose and Jailbreak, and just instantly being amazed, just with Lynot's songwriting and his lyrical matter and content and what he can write about. I mean, this man was a something else in terms of songwriting, the way he paints pictures with his lyrics and how he infuses his love for his home country within the music and his lyrics as well. There's just never been anyone else like Phil than that. I don't think. Certainly not since his untimely passing.
Right on. Ralph,
Yeah, that.
how did you first get into Thin Lizzy?
If I remember correctly, I bought Bad Reputation when it was fairly new, but it was in the cutout bin for
Right.
cheap. I'm pretty sure it was one of those days where I bought a record and I just had enough money to buy Bad Reputation as well. So I went home with two albums, I think, and being completely mesmerized by that album. It just blew my fucking mind. And I needed more of this Thin Lizzy band. So it was Bad Reputation that got the ball rolling. That's how I discovered Thin Lizzy. And in 1979, they were opening for Journey on this tour with Gary Moore, which when we had Darren on our show, he wasn't sure if Gary Moore was there or not. Well, I got confirmation afterwards. Gary Moore was at the Miami High Ally opening for Journey, and me and my friend Yai were going to the show. And we went to the beach, and he pissed his dad off, where his dad's like, "You're not going to the concert now." I was that close and seeing Thin Lizzy. That fucking close, man.
Mm.
Yeah, heartbreaking. But
Was
yeah,
Gary Moore at that?
Johnny the Fox, Jailbreak, the live album. Had all those as a little kid. Big Thin Lizzy fan to this day.
Yeah, I was curious because I saw, I looked up some photos of the band from 1979. I don't know if Gary Moore did the whole tour. I don't think he
No, he
did.
didn't. He didn't. He left midway because Phil was really fucked up on drugs, and Gary did. Gary just quit the tour,
Okay.
but he was at the Miami show.
All right, makes sense. Well, I knew Thin Lizzy growing up like most people in the States did. You knew Boys Were Back in Town, Jailbreak, you would hear on classic rock radio, but that was it. 2 songs. So my first taste of Thin Lizzy was a greatest hits album that was released in 1991 called Dedication,
Love it. That song dedication is godly.
which is funny. I don't know if you know this. I did not know this till I did some research today. That was not a Thin Lizzy song.
No, it was a Grand Slam song.
Yeah, Grand Slam, and they removed the guitar player's guitar licks, replaced it with Scott Gorham came in and did something, and they removed like even the guy's songwriting credits, and he sued and later won. So now if you get it, it has his name and everything on there. But yeah, it wasn't a Thin Lizzy song. I liked it. I liked the album. I didn't love it, but there was songs that I loved, and then there were songs that I was like, eh. The 2 songs that were represented on Dedication from this album, I didn't care for. That's why I kind of put this one off for a long time. I didn't check it out, even though I had heard a lot of like, oh, Black Rose, Axl Rose has a Black Rose tattoo. All this shit about Black Rose, Gary Moore. And I'm like, whatever. I'm like, the 2 songs I heard off it, wasn't my go-to Thin Lizzy. So it was a long time before I checked it out. So I don't have this kind of history with this album. And in fact, I mean, Thin Lizzy as a whole, I treated as a long time as like a greatest hits band. Like I got this greatest hits album, I don't need the rest. It was only when I started digging deeper, that I was like, oh my God, this band has so much more to offer than what was on that album. And in fact, I was looking at the set list on Dedication today. I'm like, I don't remember this song, and I just scrolled down because there's a different track listing on the UK version versus the US version and all this shit. I was like, okay, yeah, that's the one I knew. That's the one I had in my car. But as years went on, I became much more of a Thin Lizzy fan. But this is one that's kind of eluded me and escaped me. I don't get it. I think a lot of it has to do with Gary Moore's on it. Because, spoiler to my ears, I don't hear the quality songwriting. And I'll get into it more as it goes on, but more. But this isn't my Thin Lizzy. I was kind of like, I was excited when I found out we're going to have Josh Carlson, the assassin. It has ass in it on this episode. We're going to talk about Thin Lizzy, but then it's like, fucking Black Rose. I don't get it. But there's no denying. People hold this album in very high esteem. I just happen to be not one of them. There's a lot more of Thin Lizzy that I like more than this. But we'll get into it later. But they are a band that I love now, and I love that I got past that like greatest hits shit with these guys. Because once I got into the full albums, I'm like, oh yeah, love this shit. And there's still an era of this band that I really need to get into more. And maybe talking to you guys, you might have some insight into what I'm missing. Maybe not. We'll see. But Josh, you are the special guest. So why don't you take the opening track, Do Anything You Want to Do?
do anything you want to do. As soon as the track opens, I just love Brian Downey's like sort of African style drumming or whatever it is. Kettle drums, I think they are, and then you get the characteristic Lizzy guitar harmonies that come just blaring in, and Phil just talking about you can just do anything you want to do, like fuck what other people think, and just you do what you know is right for you. I love the particular line, they'll scandalize and tell lies until they realize you are somebody that they should have apologized to. I mean, I think anyone who's like been messed about or fucked over at some point in their life will feel like that sooner or later. This song is just classic Lizzy done to a absolute T, and I love this song big time. Ralph, do you want to go next?
Yeah, all right. You start this song with Ryan Downey, who to me is the king of shuffle. That shuffle beat he's doing. Then it goes into the signature twin guitar attack. And Phil lyrically is spitting out some extremely strong lyrics in this song. And the greatest part of this song for me is the message that you don't get in songs anymore. It's a message of empowerment, of you can do what you want. Go out there and accomplish it. Those are my favorite songs. Fight the Good Fight, I Am on Me, songs like that to tell you, man, you're special, you're something, you're gonna do something. You're not gonna sit on your ass. Go out there and get it. And then you have those guitars. And I will tell you this, man, and I do notice this a lot. Other than Lizzy albums, I'll even throw in the Snowy White albums. This album is kind of like different. Even Thunder and Lightning, I would put more as a classic sound than this, because I think Gary Moore dominates this album. Like, his presence is so known that when Scott Gorham was with another guitar player, they're both kind of, yin and yang type thing, where Gary Moore was just too good. And his playing on this album really shines brighter than Scott Gorham. Nothing against Scott Gorham, because he's a great guitar player. But Gary Moore was scary. He was a scary guitar player. And it shows all over this fucking album. But this song right here, great opener. I love it. What do you think, Ian?
All right, bear with me. I'm reading lyrics or notes that I wrote sober, and I'm reading as I'm drunk. Have never cared for this one, and this goes back to dedication. Not horrible, but too happy and fillerish for me. I hate the I drums, and I'm referring to the I from Kiss, dun 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 dun. I would see. I totally disagree with you, Ralph. I wish Gary Moore had brought more to the table than this, because I love Gary Moore's solo albums. But to me, if you didn't tell me that Gary Moore played on this album, I'd have no idea. I would just think that, maybe Robo wasn't holding up his end of the bargain. I don't hear, like, when I listen to Gary Moore solo albums, I'm like, fuck yeah. I love this shit. To me, I don't hear it when I listen to this. It's not a horrible song. I don't know if there's a song on here that I would call horrible, but there's a lot of songs on here, like I've just heard Thin Lizzy do better. Um, and that's how I felt when I heard this one. It's just like, it's okay, but like all these other songs that I heard on Dedication, I like better. Um, so yeah, just not a huge fan of the song. I'll take the next one, Toughest Street in Town. All right, now this one was co-written by Gary Moore. I believe a lot of this was already written before Gary. And in fact, there's two songs I know for sure that were even performed before Gary Moore came to the band. but I think a lot of this was done, and he just came in and put his Gary Moore shit on it. But this one I think is okay. Nothing to write home about, but to me, it's too early for filler. I do like the solo on this song, but that's about it. What do you think, Josh?
Self-streeting sound, and again, I love the attitude and the lyrics in this song. I especially love the line "like a rat in a packet attacks from the back." I think that's just such killer lyrics from Phil there. And I listen to this song, I can picture the kind of like dingy side streets you sometimes find in cities in the over here in the United Kingdom where there's just
You there, Josh? You're cutting out.
Yeah, I
I
think.
mean you just think, yeah, I know exactly what you're doing here. And yeah, tough history, and also the solo on this song as well. I think I can't
Josh died of crib death. Hello.
quite work out who it is with Green Sound. I think so. Don't get this one. Uh, is my connection gone?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you were breaking up a lot.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah. Basically, all we heard is like, you agree with me, this isn't a great song. And that's about it.
Just
Josh, we can't hear you, dude. All right, I'll talk about this.
All right.
I think it's a
give me a minute.
vintage. It's a vintage sounding Thin Lizzy tune. Lots of energy, getting my attention on everything they're throwing in the song with catchy fucking lyrics and great chorus. The solo is amazing. Brian drumming is busy and catchy, and can't get enough of how Phil paints pictures with the lyrics of this song. Josh, you back? He's not back.
All right.
Josh, maybe you want to like restart your computer as I go into the next song.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'll take the next song.
S&M. This would not fly today. You know, even though in the history of me fucking, I've known so many chicks that like to get hit. It exists, people. You know, the line where it says he liked to beat the ladies. There's nothing that I suppose. Then you hear, yes, she is. You can't even do that today. You know. Anyway, I love this fucking song. It's I think it's musically killer. The feel is so infectious. Killer solo section. Love the bass line. Killer solos and that drum breakdown rules all. I love S&M. And yes, I do understand it is a song that a lot of people don't like, but I'm glad I'm not one of those people. That's what I think
No,
about S&M.
I get it. You brought up a great point is like, songs that would never fly today, because there's a lot of Sammy Hagar songs where they talk, Sammy's basically talking about being like fucking face raped, like fucked in the mouth, and you
That was
can't do
on
that anymore.
that was on OU812, I believe.
Oh yeah, no, but it's on all the Sammy albums. There's a lot of songs about like cocks being forced in your mouth and like balls smacking your chin
It's kind of
against
like
your will.
it's kind of like what Metallica does with Unforgiven, Unforgiven
Yeah,
1, Unforgiven 2, where
hmm
it's like face fuck one, throw fuck.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's something a lot of people don't bring up is Unforgiven is a total ripoff of Sammy Hagar. because it's totally about like a cock being jammed in your mouth against your will.
Interesting.
Um, this is one of two songs that were written while Robbo was still in the band and was performed early in 1978. Um, I gotta say, when a song's called S&M, I was hoping for kind of a sleazy rocker, but instead we get a song that musically is kind of like happy sounding to me. Um, I like the lyrics, and the solo is serviceable enough, but I just don't find it a standout track. I was really hoping S&M, like, oh yeah, nice. Like, I wanted some like LA Guns type sleazy shit, but it's all right though. I do like the lyrics, but musically it doesn't cut the mustard for me. What do you think, Josh of S&M? Are you there?
Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Can you hear me
Okay,
okay? Can
Yeah,
you hear
I
me
can
okay?
hear you.
Okay. I mean, S&M, this song's sleazier than Greg Barnes on a Saturday night. I mean,
No, it's
that's,
not. No, it's not.
man, I mean, but this song though, I kind of love the happy feel to the song juxtapositioned with these, slightly risque lyrics. I mean, probably not risque in the grand scheme of things, but one thing I really like when Thin Lizzy does the funkier style of songs, like with Johnny the Fox meets Jimmy the Weed, and what's the opening song on Shades of a Blue Orphanage? Um, that that one as well, which is like really, you know, quite funky and kind of got a jammy feel to it. But yeah, S&M, I think Phil's that's absolutely killing it with this song on the bass, with that bass line he plays with that chorus effect, and this way he locks in with Brian Downey. I mean, Phil's really underrated as a bass player. I know he's known for his songwriting more than anything, and deservedly so. But I think doesn't get the credit he deserves for what he plays on the bass a lot of the time, and having to sing it as well live, which is always a really difficult thing for any musician to do. Um, but S&M, yeah, I think the uniqueness of this song and just the overall feel of it, I think is I think it hits for me. It hits the mark for the most part.
All right. Well, why don't you take the next song? Waiting for an alibi.
Oh, waiting for an alibi. This is for the longest time. Waiting for an alibi was my favorite song on this album on Black Rose. I love the feel that um, Brian and Phil create the way they lock in with each other throughout the song from the beginning to the end is just killer. And Phil tells a great story again about a guy who runs a betting shop and this addiction he has over placing bets with himself as well. And I think this is also one of probably not my favorite, but I definitely think one of my favorite Scott Gorham solos, definitely, and the killer guitar harmony he does with Gary Moore as well. I think it's just so tasteful and just so well thought out and tastefully put together. I think it's just so killer. So yeah, Waiting for an Alibi is definitely one of my favorite songs on Black Rose, definitely. So go on in.
All right.
So go on in and tell me why Parental Guidance by Judas Priest is a better song.
Well, we don't have enough time for me to tell you why it's a better song. But I'll just say this in the opening track are why um, I took so long to get into this album because these are the two tracks that were on dedication, and they were two of my least favorite tracks on that album. Um, this, it's not horrible, but to me, everything else I heard on dedication was better. Um, I don't know. This it just seems like they were running out of steam on this one, and I don't know if it's the um, like oh shit, Robo's not here, and we got to hurry up and make another album because the last one didn't sell as much as the last one, didn't sell as much as the last one. But it just seems rushed. It seems a carbon copy of everything else that Thin Lizzy's done. I would say I have to get more well versed on the first three albums, the ones with Eric Bell. Um, but I'm very well versed in everything, like Nightlife on. And I would put this and Chinatown as my least favorites. And I know everybody's like, oh, Chinatown's, the worst album, the worst album. I gotta listen to Chinatown again because to me, a lot of shit on this like reminds me of Chinatown. It's like it's just not as good as what came before. I mean, to me, this album is no Nightlife, Fighting, Jailbreak, Johnny the Fox, Bad Reputation. All of those I would put much more higher esteem than this album. And then if you go after that, I'll take Renegade over this. I'll take Thunder and Lightning over this. I don't get it. I mean, hey, the album's got a great album cover. Looks amazing. Gary Moore is on it. Brings a lot of attention to it. I don't know. I prefer what Snowy White did on Renegade more than this. Now, like I said, Chinatown, I got to go back to. Chinatown was another one. On Dedication, the only track that was on there was the title track. And I was like, it's okay. I mean, there's nothing on Dedication that I hate. But it's like, compared to the rest of the shit, I was like, okay, now you see. Because I used to think for a long time on Dedication, there was nothing from Renegade or Thunder and Lightning. And I'm like, oh my God, they must really suck if there was nothing off of those albums. And then I went back and, I mean, Jesus Christ, I love Renegade and Thunder and Lightning. God damn. To me, that's the best album they did since fucking Johnny the Fox. Fucking killer shit. But yeah, it's all right. It's not offensive. There's nothing on here that's like, oh, this is a shitty band. But they've just done it better. Ralph, did you talk about this song yet?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Corrosion of Conformity, talking about like copying. Clean Your Wounds is a ripoff of this song. 100%. It's Waiting for an Alibi with different lyrics. They totally ripped it.
Oh, well, Clean Your Wounds is much better than this song.
No, it's not. And I love that song, by the way, but it's this song with different lyrics. I think
disagree.
The song is perfect. And this is my favorite Thin Lizzy album. But that's
what?
Hands down. Has always been. And this has always been my favorite Thin Lizzy album. And I think this song breathes perfectly. And it sounds like a simple tune, and just a cool feel as Phil again spits out these amazing lyrics about a gambler. I love how he paints pictures, tells stories in his lyrics. And this is one of his best songs, actually. It's a perfect song. The guitar solos has kind of like an Emerald type vibe to it a little bit. Waiting for the Alibi is a fucking masterpiece. Absolutely love it. So go to the next one.
Good God, yeah, take Sarah.
Sarah is a gentle ballad. It does not sound forced to me. Has a very natural feel. Huey Lewis is playing harmonica, and it's the greatest thing this hack's ever done. And I used to not like this song, but I wised up. Phil wrote a pretty song about his daughter and great Gary Moore solo. And this was not supposed to be on the album. This was supposed to be on a Phil Lynott solo album. But they ended up putting it on here, and I'm glad they did. It's a sappy little ballad, but I love it. What do you think, Ian?
I love this song. Love it.
Wow.
Probably my favorite on the album. And that's the problem. While it's great, I expect a little bit more out of Thin Lizzy. Yes, it does have Huey Lewis on harmonica, which I don't hear the harmonica on this. I don't know. Maybe I need to listen to it again. Also has a different drummer on this. It's not Brian Downey. It's Mark Nursive
It sounds like
or
a drum
whatever.
machine.
Anyway, he filled in for Brian Downey like 78, 79 when he couldn't do a couple tours and shit. Um, but I love this is no like Brandon. Like Brandon's like an embarrassment song about your kid, where I think this is a beautiful song, about his daughter. I wish he thought a little bit more of her and turned his life around. But if you listen to the song, he cared about her. Um, it's a beautiful little ballad. It's kind of out of place on this album. I mean, if you listen to all the other songs, this is the one that sounds the most like out of left field. But you can't deny it's a great song. And this guy's voice, holy fuck, man. Phil's voice is so soulful. And, you think about when this guy died, he died like probably what? Was it 7 years after this was recorded or whatever? So he's in his 20s writing this shit. But this guy has a voice like he lived a lifetime, and he's just reflecting. I mean, it's God damn, I love Phil. Uh, this album not so much. But Sarah is a beautiful ballad. The second Sarah that he had written, there's a song called Sarah on the second album, with the Blue Orphanage or whatever the fucking album it is, was about his grandmother, and his daughter was named after his grandmother. So he had a song about his grandmother. He had a song about his daughter. I prefer this one to that one. I think it's a beautiful little track. What do you think, Josh?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Josh. All right.
Yeah. So, we okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, talk.
Okay, good. So yeah, Sarah, I concur with you. This is a beautiful, beautiful song. And yes, Mark Nosif, I think I say pronounce his surname, does play drums on this. And Gary Moore does all the guitars. And so yeah, Brian Downey and Scott Gorham aren't on this song anyway. I believe it was demoed with Phil's solo album Solo in Soho in mind, but obviously it ended up not being on that album. But yeah, Sarah's in the midst of, he was, because Phil was obviously doing a lot of coke around this point, and he was in the midst of fighting his addictions, as we'll described in another song coming up. And so, but he was still able to write this beautiful song about his newborn um, daughter. And I love, even within the song, the different key changes it has within the music, and the different couple of different turns it takes within the song does keep it interesting for me as well. So yeah, I think Phil really hit it out of the park on.
All right.
All
Uh,
right, Josh, why don't you take the
When
next
he covered.
song if we can hear you? Take the next song.
got to
Got to
be
give it up.
Got to give it up. Right. So yeah, got to give it up. This song, just the lyrics in this song just tear your heart out. They certainly tear mine out when how he's describing his addiction. He's he knows that he's getting worse with his drug and alcohol misuse, but he's realizing that he's just got to give it up basically. And I think the two solos on this song from Scott Gorham and Gary Moore are both amazing um, solos, and just the level of introspect that Phil had even at this point in his life is just amazing. And this song, yeah, this song, I love this song. Ian?
This guy keeps his word like Motley Crue. Got to give it up. He should have gave it up. He'd still be around making fucking great music. It's an okay song. I like the verses more than the chorus. I don't like the chorus to this one, but I like the verses. And I like what it says. Um, It is kind of heartbreaking, especially if you know, the true story of Phil and shit like that. But I don't know. Again, to me, the song leaves a little to be desired. Even though I do like it lyrically, don't like the chorus. It's okay though. I mean, there's nothing like like CC DeVille level on this fucking album or this band. There's nothing like horrible. There's not. I can't think of like a Thin Lizzy song where I'm just like that shit sucks. That shit's fucking horrible. No, there's none of that. But there's just stuff like I think this is a higher echelon than this one, and this is one I just think it's kind of It's like most people call Chinatown. I think Black Rose is Chinatown level. Blah. But whatever. What do you think, Ralph?
I love this song. Dark and moody intro into a heavy and choppy band comes in with those lyrics that are so dark and hopeless. He's saying he's got to give it up. He's not saying he's gonna give it up. And that's what the verses all say. Tell my mother I tried to write, tell this, tell that, because I can't win this addiction. And it is autobiographical, of what ended up happening to him. Because he knew back then, man, Gary Moore left the tour because of drug use. Phil was going down hard. Him and Scott were drug buddies, Scott got out of it. Phil didn't, man. But these lists all about, Phil's struggles with drugs and how he just couldn't kick it. And you can't, and also you have to blame Jimmy Bain for that.
No, who you have to blame for that though. Go back and read some books on Thin Lizzy. You know the difference? Scott Gorham never bought 5150. Phil did.
Oh.
And it killed him.
Heartbreaking.
Do you have any evidence of that? You got any evidence of that, Ian?
Yes, I do. It's in my head.
I believe everything Ian says.
Thank you.
That's taking the shine off it.
Drugs didn't kill Phil Lynette. Sammy Hagar did.
You had to reserve it you had to save it for Black Rose, didn't you, Ian?
Yeah, I did.
Rose,
fuck it. People need to know.
Next song, Get Out of Here. This is a very wordy song. Phil does not follow rules as a singer, yet he nails it. It was so special, and it's, like this, I don't know, the deliverance that this band gives during, wake up, had enough, gonna, just that uniqueness of him and not really being in perfect time with the band, but yet it's perfect for the song. I mean, it could have been a little more, let's get anal and make it just so precise. No, it's got that human feel. Get Out of Here, to me, is kind of like the dark horse on this album. Not talked about enough. And I think it's a very unique, stylistic song that only Phil was able to write songs like Get Out of Here. I absolutely love it. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, it's like I said, I like Phil's unique phrasing on how he does the kind of not quite call and response thing with his vocals. And I do like the attitude of the song, how he sings, and the music as well. I think it is quite got some catchy riffs in it. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites though on the album, but I do like Phil's deliverance on the song and how he delivers his performance and the music as well. Yeah, I get Out of Here. I'll say it's for me it's killer filler for me, but it's a cool tune though, definitely. Ian?
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying with the filler shit. I gotta stop listening to this album. And this is what's driving me nuts is I love Thin Lizzy, but this album, man, is not fucking grabbing me. And this, getting prepared for this, I think I listened to it 3.5 times. And I'm just wondering, like, how is this considered top tier Thin Lizzy? When you look at shit like, nightlife, fighting, fucking jailbreak, Johnny the Fox, bad reputation, thunder and lightning, and this shit's considered. I don't get, and I know I'm in the fucking minority. I know a lot of people love this, and I'm like, why?
Why can't you accept it, Ian?
Well, no, I'm just saying to my ears compared to the back catalog.
But you're like, why? Oh, I don't understand.
Oh, okay. It's like, okay, I love Rat. I love Rat. Okay. Detonator is not a good album. There's a couple songs I like on Detonator, but it's a shitty fucking Rat album.
Yeah, but nobody's pointing at Detonator as one of their best albums.
True. Well, Mark Daly probably thinks it's the best fucking Rat album.
Yeah, but does he count?
No, not in my world.
It's interesting you point. It's interesting you point to Nightlife in. The band don't even like that album that much, or at least Scott.
I love
Scott.
it.
Oh yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's a great album. Yeah, but at the time, Scott Gorham and Brian Robertson weren't happy with the production on it at the very least.
No, but it's the songs that I love on that. The songs on Nightlife. I fucking love.
I love those songs too. I just have the songs on Black Rose more.
Yeah, and you see the progression from like, the little bit, like I said, I'm not well versed on the Eric Bell era. There's songs that I like, but I'm not like where I could quote the album from beginning to end. But I see, like, to me, Nightlife is where Thin Lizzy begins, and then you hear the evolution on Fighting, and then Jailbreak. And to me, my favorite album is Johnny the Fox. From start to finish, Johnny the Fox is my favorite. And I love, Bad Reputation, even though I think it's a step down from Johnny the Fox, I still love it. And then you got Black Rose, then you got Chinatown, and then to me they start climbing up again with Renegade. And I love Thunder and Lightning. I love what, John Sykes added to the band, this new sound. And it's like, I can't believe Phil gave up, and if there's any truth to the story, like Phil heard Pyromania and said, I'm going to give up because this is the future. I'm the past, blah, blah, blah. And it sucks because I love Thunder and Lightning. But I just see Black Rose and Chinatown. And again, Chinatown, I almost did it today. I almost let me go listen to Chinatown and see, is it really the worst, or to me, is it on par with this? Because most people, would you guys agree Chinatown is the worst?
Yeah, I love that album, but it's my least favorite. I love Chinatown. I love all the albums, but it is my least favorite.
Chinatown, I'd say the first half of the album is better than the second, definitely.
The what?
The first half of Chinatown is better than the second half of the album, definitely.
Okay. What do you guys think of the Eric Bell era? The first three albums.
I enjoy it.
I love them.
I enjoy it.
Would you say Chinatown is worse than the first three albums?
Yeah. I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
In all fairness, yeah. I really like the first Lizzy album. The first album I really enjoyed.
That's how I kind of see this one, and I don't hate Chinatown, and I don't hate this album. I just think everything else is much better. How can you hate anything that comes out of Phil's voice? That fucking voice. Dare I say, Ralph, is better than Eric Adams. More soulful.
Well, you know what? Because Phil ain't singing metal. If he tried to sing metal, he's no Eric Adams.
But metal is no Thin Lizzy, and that's to me, and I think that's a great thing. Like Thin Lizzy covered Rosalie by Bob Seger. Thin Lizzy has much more in common with Bob Seger than they do Black Sabbath. They're a rock and roll band. This is a great rock and roll band that has a unique twin guitar style, that was developed, post Scott Gordon, when Scott Gordon and Robbo got there, you got the twin guitar sound that they would hold pretty much to the end of their, you don't hear the twin so much on Thunder and Lightning. It's so dominated by John Sykes. But I mean,
That's their only metal album, if you ask me.
right, right. But they're a rock and roll band. But it's unfortunate. I wish he wouldn't have gave up after Thunder and Lightning, because I think if he would have kept fucking Sykes, they could have done something even better than Thunder and Lightning. You know what I mean? I mean, they could have found their footing in the new world, or whatever the 80s were bringing. I think John Sykes would have been the perfect like bridge to get him to where he needed to go. I wish he wouldn't have gave up. But yeah, anyway.
Is there any songs from Thin Lizzy studio albums that you prefer their versions of on Live and Dangerous? Because
I prefer Massacre on Live and Dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. Rosalie's definitely.
Rosalie.
Yeah, Rosalie. I definitely prefer
I'm not
on
the
Live
biggest
and
fan of
Dangerous.
Still in Love with You. I'm not a big fan of that song.
See, that to me, that could be my favorite Thin Lizzy song of all time.
I just don't get it.
Because that's the one I fell in love with. Like when I bought Dedication, I bought it because the boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. I bought it because of Jailbreak. But when I heard Still in Love with You, I was just, what do you say in England, gobsmacked? I was like, holy fucking shit. I mean, that song just broke. I remember, it's funny because we're married now, but I remember like I used to make mixtapes, when I get in fights with my wife, my ex-wife, who's my wife again. But I put that on there. I'm like, because that song just got me to the core. I'm like, holy shit. But then there's other like Thin Lizzy like ballads, like Spirit Slips Away. Like, oh my god! I mean, this guy, the shit he could write, the ballads, and I just don't hear him on this album. I hear this sounds like a band to me that should have took a couple years off, and come up with some better material. And again, I'm even more like, what the fuck? Because Gary Moore's on this album. This album should be 10 times better to my ears than what it is. And that's no slight against fucking Robbo, because I love Robbo, but I'm like, oh my God, you got Scott Gorham and Gary Moore? This should have been the best Thin Lizzy album ever. And to me, this is like, if it was a Kiss album, it'd be Unmasked. It's like going through the motions, like kind of too happy, kind of this and that. It should have been better. It should have been the best Thin Lizzy album ever with Gary Moore and Scott Gorham. And to me, it's far from it. Far from it. All right, well, that's what I thought of 7. What the fuck was 7? Yeah, get out of here. Okay, next song, With Love. All right, what the fuck? Let me see. What do I think about this one? Okay, so Jimmy Bain's playing bass on this, and Huey Lewis once again is on this song, and this is the one not produced by Tony Visconti or whatever his name is. Guy did a lot of great albums with David Bowie. Produced this album, but Phil produced this one by himself. Again, the song does not much for me, but I do love the solo. Great guitar solo on this, but other than that, leaves a lot to be desired. What do you think, Josh Carlson?
All right, With
Okay, you here?
Love. Another. Give me a sec. Okay.
All right,
Right.
you think about it. I can give a shit less because this song's like the second worst one on here. I'm gonna go pee, but you talk about it.
Okay, yeah. With love, again, this is another kind of a nice sort of gentle acoustic strumming on it from Gary and Scott. But again, I think Phil writes some pretty good lyrics from what I can work out. It's about heartbreak after a breakup, but yeah, again, it is kind of it's the second to last track on the album, and it for me it just feel like it's kind of there though. So yeah, that's what I feel about with love. Ralph, what do you think?
I love it. I think Jimmy Bain does some very tasteful bass work on here. Beautiful guitar solo with some killer bass and drums under that solo. It's not heavy or mellow. It brings a different feel. I think it's an amazing song. Totally heartfelt tune. I dig it. All right, now we end it with Black Rose. The intro to this song grooves like crazy, man. Lyrics are so fucking amazing on this song. The amazing stories that have been told over the centuries. Singing over that amazing arrangement. It's so perfect. And the dual leads during the song is unbelievable. Into the insane guitar attack with Brian playing such perfect drumming. Back to Phil's amazing vocals and lyrics, bringing the song to an amazing close. To me, this is kind of like their Stairway to Heaven slash Stargazer. It's a perfect song. Absolutely love it. And I know I'll spoil it all because I've heard Ian bitch about this song in the past because he doesn't like this type of music because he's Irish too. Well, hey man, I love this type of music only done by Thin Lizzy. I've heard Flogging Molly and all that garbage. I don't like that music either. I like it here, but also I'm Cuban and I hate Cuban music, so I can identify with Ian's hate for a song that's from his heritage.
All right. Well, I just got back. I take it you're talking about the last song, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, this motherfucker. This might be my least favorite Thin Lizzy song I've ever fucking heard. Um, as an Irish American, I now know what it's like for black people when Flavor Flav is on TV. You know, you're like, oh fuck, we're set back 100 fucking years.
Yeah, boy.
Uh, yeah, I hate this fucking song. Oh my god, I thought I hated fucking Emerald. I think I hate this one even more. It is probably, yeah, probably my least favorite. Again, I don't know, man. A lot of people love this shit, you know, and you guys can fucking sit at home and river dance to this fucking crap. Uh, I think it's horse shit, dude. Total fucking horse shit. By far my least favorite song on the album. I don't care how long it is. It's not fucking epic to me. It's epic because it won't fucking end, you know. Uh, do not like this fucking shit. Did Josh talk about this turd already?
No.
All right, Josh, talk about this motherfucker. And don't act
No.
like you love the Irish because that's all you fucking English have done is oppress our fucking potato eating asses. So anyway, what do you think? Oh, he left.
Well,
Oh, you're
we
there?
did well to avoid this subject, so
Yeah.
yeah, we did well to avoid this subject on that. But no, in all fairness, this could be my favorite Thin Lizzy song of all time.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Come
Really?
on, hey. This
Really?
may be my second favorite of all time.
Oh,
Get the fuck
fuck
out
you
of here.
too. Fuck
You
you
get the
too.
fuck out of here. Go ahead, Josh.
Perfect. They don't take enough twists and turns. Sorry, am I coming through right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're getting edited by
Yeah.
Winston Churchill because he's fucking embarrassed by what the fuck you're gonna say. Hello?
Josh. Well, Josh,
Yeah,
you like the song?
yeah. It's it's probably definitely my favorite Thin Lizzy song
There you go.
ever.
Right on.
Definitely.
All right, cool, man. So there you go. That's our review of Black Rose, my favorite Thin Lizzy album.
Really?
Yes. It's been my favorite forever. I must have mentioned that on this show anytime that album.
I know. What's that song that sucks on Johnny the Fox that you don't like?
Boogie Woogie Dance.
This is an album of boogie woogie dances.
To you.
Okay.
Not to me, bro. To me, it's a masterpiece.
All right. 10 years from now, we are going to review this album again.
Oh, I'm not you. 10 years from now, I'll still love it. You know? I'm
all right. Well, we'll see what I think.
This has been my favorite Thin Lizzy album for like 35 years now.
Wow.
It ain't going to change in another 10.
Wow. I mean,
what, man? Come on.
Seriously though, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I'm like,
oh, it doesn't match my opinion. Wow.
Well, I mean, there's shit that I consider like up for interpretation, and then I'm like just looking at their catalog, like over Nightlife, over Jailbreak, over Johnny the Fox, over Bad Reputation, over Thunder and Lightning.
Yep. Oh, come on.
I can see where you said, like, hey, I like this better than Chinatown, or maybe Renegade, or, Shades of Blue Orphanage, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Ian, you're a fan of The Cure. Wake up.
I love that shit.
Yeah,
love that.
I was going to say,
you love Prince. Get over yourself.
Oh,
you gotta like what you like.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Ralph.
The other day, I was driving in my car and the shit's on shuffle, and it was a track off the last Cure album that came out like fucking maybe 2014 or some shit like that. I'm like, God damn, this song sucks. I'm like, no wonder Ralph hates this shit, man. This shit's fucking horrible. But yeah, I seriously, I'm just mind blown. So I can't believe this.
You know what? And you like The Cure? You like Prince? It doesn't mind blow me. I don't give
Good point you raised.
I don't
I was
give
thinking,
a fuck. Whatever. You like art?
How many years has Ian liked that song by Bang Tango as well?
Yeah, how many decades?
Yeah. Oh, and this is another one I love. This is another one. I tell you what, funny's funny. I like one Bang Tango song, and I'm the ambassador of Bang Tango.
Because who else is it going to be?
That's one.
Ralph loves Uncle Tom's Cabin. Nobody considers Ralph like the ambassador of fucking Warrant.
Hey,
Ralph likes a fucking Linkin Park song, and nobody considers Ralph like the guru of Linkin Park. But I'm the Bang Tango expert
because you like The Cure, and by you liking The Cure, you deserve that kind of harassment.
You like ABBA, motherfucker. I'm sorry. You love ABBA.
Yeah, that's true. But those are chicks. Yours are guys acting like
all four of them.
Yeah. Well, everybody in The Cure is.
All right, that's it. Next episode, we're doing Dangerous Toys. God damn it! I'm sick of these shitty fucking. I was sitting there, I was looking, I was like, God damn. We're doing Black Rose this week. The last one we did was fucking fucking Man of War. Before that, even though I love fucking Blue Oyster Cult, it was a shitty Blue Oyster Cult album. Like, God damn it, I'm gonna pick a fucking album I like. This shit's fucking
Yeah,
terrible.
but I didn't like that Blue Oyster Cult album.
Yeah, that shit sucked. But I'm excited about the new live album. You know.
Right on.
Well, Josh, we can't see you, but did you have fun?
Tango, because I think episode 5.
I didn't hear one word of that.
Scrambled eggs, bro. We can't hear you. It's like
I think
Go.
Josh.
oh,
Nothing.
Oh God, he's gone. All right, well now it's time to go into pick of the week. Ralph, do you have a pick of the week?
Yeah, right here, man. Rush.
Nice.
Pictures. The deluxe box set with that show from Winnipeg, or wherever the fuck, in Canada, live in YYZ, is my pick of the week. Thank you so much, Josh Carlson.
So, Ralph, did you listen to the regular album yet? How do you think it sounds?
I haven't heard the moving pictures part, but I heard the live album. It's amazing.
Okay. Nice. All right. My pick of the week, if Josh can hear this, maybe he knows these guys. This is an English band that I think I discovered these guys through Sam Wetz. I could be wrong, but I think he made a post of one of their albums on the page, and then I went back and checked it out. But it's an English band called Devil's Witches that I really fucking love. And, I tried to illegally download them on the interweb. And unfortunately, I can only get the one album. I can't get the rest of the shit. But I got their album, Velvet Magic, from 2017. And I know, Ralph, you like to, look up the song and play it during the background. Apache Snow, the opening track, I think would be perfect to play, in the background for this. But, definitely like a Sabbath vibe. The vocals are distorted, kind of Ozzy-esque, I would say. It's Ozzy, but with like distortion, so who knows what the guy really sounds like. But musically, it's the kind of garage, psychedelic, fucking drug music that I love. Devil Witches, Velvet Music from 2017. That is my pick of the week. Ralph, what do you... Oh, you already went with yours. And Josh is gone?
Yeah, he hasn't come
Okay.
back, so it was great having him here. It just went to shit at the end.
Yeah.
Audio, but we got the
All right.
gist of it. We got a gist of what he liked about Black Rose.
All right. Well, now we'll go to the fan of the week. And fan of the week is the guy who fucking left the show. The Assassin. It has ass in it. Josh Carlson. I mean, seriously, for long-term listeners, how cool is that? The guy that was on, an epic episode is here 10 fucking years later. And, that's the cool thing about this show. I know you probably don't get the messages or anything, but I get all these notifications on Podbean from Tang Bango, our rabid listener in Canada. And he got turned on to the show, and then he went back, to the beginning. And now he's listening through the whole history, and he leaves a comment on every fucking episode. And, it's funny in a way, but it takes me back. It's like, this show will live forever. You know what I mean? There's been people who've been here with us from the beginning. There's been people who've come here in the last couple of years. But there are going to be those people. And this guy, I think he's older than me, but younger than you, Ralph. But he discovered this show late. And now he's just like a rabid fan. So this shit, once it's on the internet, it's going to live forever. And new people are going to discover these reviews of albums that I liked 10 years ago that I hate now. You know? But it's great. It's so much fun, and man, to reconnect with an old guest. Who knows? Maybe in 5 more years we'll have Justin Childers on here. Oh, here's a funny thing. So he was listening. Tank Bango was listening to the Guns N' Roses episode. He goes, "What's up with the beeps? I've never heard a beep on another episode before. Did you guys start getting censored?"
Sorry about that, guys.
All right, you're back, Josh. Yeah, we're saying our goodbyes, and Ian was calling you a fan of the week.
Yeah.
Ian was calling me a what?
Fan of the week.
Yeah. Fag of the week. Yeah, but in England, you are the smoke of the week, the cigarette.
Yeah, you are the cigarette of the week.
Right, fine. So, can I just say, I do want to give my pick of the week.
All right.
Okay.
Because I do have one.
Okay.
And it is the first album by Journey.
Yeah.
It's my
I love that album.
Love it.
It is my pick of the week. I think the musicianship on this first Journey album is mind-blowing. I remember hearing it recently for the first time, and I've been getting into Journey quite recently as well. I've been going through all their early albums, all the classic stuff, but this first Journey album, man, I'm so impressed. Ainsley Dunbar on this album,
fuck
absolutely out of this mind. I think, is it the third track? His drumming on that third track is just out of this world, absolutely mind-blowing. What a band Journey was before they became known for their more commercial songwriting and everything. They were, but underneath all that, that band was just made up of brilliant musicians.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, a lot of people, know that Don't Stop Believing type stuff. But even before, what Ralph and I, well, I mean, Greg Raleigh was there from the beginning, but, Ralph and I love like the Greg Raleigh plus Steve Perry, that 3 album run. But before that, before Steve Perry joined the band, was it Journey Next and I forget what the other one's called. But those 3 albums, man.
Into the Future.
Yeah, Into the Future. Especially if you're a musician. I totally get why you would fucking fall in love with that, because I mean it's a music nerd's dream. Really great progressive rock, but not like in a pretentious kind of yes way. You know what I mean?
It's got the jazz element to it, the jazz fusion element.
Yeah, definitely. Highly recommend those albums, man, and that's why I'm all about fuck Jonathan Cain, man. To me, Journey died when fucking Jonathan Cain came along. Give me Greg Raleigh era fucking Journey, and you can't fuck with that shit, man. And Neil Sean's fucking amazing guitar player. Great pick. I'm glad to see somebody your age get into that, and give that shit a chance, because a lot of people your age would write them off like, oh yeah, this is some Faithfully bullshit.
And he was only 15 when he did our first show. He's 83 now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this shit will age you.
He's not a kid no more.
But to be fair, I was raised around jazz fusion music.
Nice.
To start with, I was raised around Weather Report and Pat Metheny and all that kind of music, which I still love even now. I don't listen to it all the time, but I mean, Pat Metheny especially, that man's guitar playing is just takes me elsewhere. I love jazz fusion.
Nice.
And the first Journey album is also the only one with a rhythm guitar player as well, isn't it? George Tickner, wasn't his name? The only one with him on. I think he left after the first album for, I'm not quite sure the reason. But
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, the only one with George Tickner playing rhythm guitar. Yeah, the only one. He left after it. I don't know why, but so yeah, that's another interesting aspect of that album as well. But yeah, the first Journey album, if you've not heard it, I love it.
Awesome. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, come back next week when we talk about the debut album from Tough, Shit Only Chicks Like.
Oh, we're finally
That's
doing albums you like.
I fucking hate Tough. That shit sucks. The only person who likes that shit is Aaron Camaro.
Does he?
I love Aaron Camaro. Oh, he loves Tough.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
That's
Eric
what we need.
Camaro rules.
We that's what we need to do. We need to get that would be funny at least. We need to get Aaron Camaro on here to talk about some shit like Tough.
Yeah, do a tough review with Aaron.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for joining us,
Thank
man.
you, Josh, and also thank you so much for this, my friend.
That's a hell of a gift.
You rock, bro.
That's a hell, and thank you for getting me jack shit. I appreciate your
And look what
your
I'm
nothing
wearing.
gift.
Look, you see what I'm wearing?
Decibel Geek.
Decibel
Podcast.
Geek.
I'm representing the Decibel Geeks.
Oh shit! Thanks for reminding. I gotta call fucking Sinzak. Sinzak texted me right before we were recording this. I gotta give him a call. All right. I love both of you guys.
Love you too.
Ralph.
Love you, Josh.
Love you, Wadzilla. Love you, Ralph. You guys
Yeah.
are awesome.
Love you,
Ralph,
Ian.
I love you so much. I know it's been a tough one, man. And I
I
love
want to
you.
thank you, Ian, too. Thank you for reaching out during the
Yeah.
times. Your texts were very helpful. And the same thing with Josh, man. Thank you so much. I have the greatest friends in the world, man. And you all mean a lot to me. And by you all reaching out in such a dark time, really did mean a lot to me, you know? Oh, I'm so glad I remembered this. At my father's funeral, you know who sent flowers, man?
Greg Barnes.
Mike Tyler, Metal Mike.
Really?
He
Mike.
sent flowers to my dad's funeral. So, Metal Mike, eternal thanks, my friend. And I got to bring up, I know I bring this up a lot, but when I was in Nashville that one year where my plane was leaving like 11 at night and Metal Mike had to drive home like hundreds and hundreds of miles, he stayed with me the whole day so I wouldn't be sitting in the airport for 10 hours. We went to the Johnny Cash Museum. We just made a day hanging out. People like that, man. People like Metal Mike, Josh, Ian, you all you're like Macho Man, man. You're cream of the crop, you know. And I appreciate you all, man. It means a lot to me. And I am doing much better. Here I am doing a podcast. I'm getting the wheels rolling again. And also all the people that watch my YouTube stuff, I want to thank you all as well because you all, with your donations, you get my mind off stuff. This podcast gets my mind off stuff. I know who my true friends are, and I am grateful for you all. So thank you, Ian, and thank you, Josh.
Eternal
Love you,
hails to
brother.
the Vieras.
All right. Next week, Tough.
And someone with a better and a guest with a better internet connection.
Yeah. Yeah. I blame Margaret Thatcher. God damn it.
Yeah, we're still feeling that bitch. We're still feeling that bitch's effects all these years later. Yeah.
Hey, Josh, isn't it like 5 a.m. over there by now?
No, it's 7:45.
Well, you got to go to work tomorrow, right?
I do, yeah. 7:20. I'm up.
Right on. All right, man. We got to call it a night so Josh can get his Z's. I want to thank you all for watching. Everybody out there, you all rule. I appreciate all the condolences. I don't know. There's so many that I know many of you watching now, and I want to personally thank each and every one of you. You all rock. Thank you, and smack 'em a gob.
To your father.
Eternal hails to the Vieras.